Sup everyone, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to my very first Force of Will flashback video. Now this is going to be a new type of video that I'm going to be doing going forward, where I talk about old Force of Will products. As you can see here, it doesn't get much more old, doesn't get much older? Either of those works, then, I don't think either of those works, then Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale. For this particular video, we're going to be doing a deck in the box video for the Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale. This is one of my favorite sets of all time. I think it might be. It's tied between this and the Moon Priestess Returns. I love this set. This was the first major wide release in the US, and it's what really got me onto Force of Will. Specifically, the Moon Priestess Returns did, but this set was like the hotness when I started playing it. It's just, I love this set a lot. I also think it's one of the best ways to start playing if you're a brand new player and you don't want to play, you know, with modern cards. If you don't care and you don't want to play like New Frontiers, which is kind of like the standard of Force of Will, because you can just buy a box of this, maybe even 2 boxes of this, maybe pick up a box and have your friend pick up a box, and then you both just make decks with what you get in your each respective box. I think that's really, really fun, which is why we're going to be doing this deck in a box video. We're going to crack this box open and we're going to try to make a deck with only the cards inside. I picked these both up on eBay for about $25 each. I paid about $50 for these two, and that's a pretty good deal. That's like the price of, like, you know, a nicer board game, basically. So if you have a buddy and you're like, you know what, let's play some Force of Will, or a significant other, partner, whatever, you go, let's play some Force of Will. Pitch in each, you know, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, and go to town. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of creativity. If you're playing with a friend, you can even do some trades, all that kind of stuff. But before we get started, I do want to give a hearty shout out to Happy Little Hug Factory. Those folks are awesome. They support this channel, and I support them, not just because they support me, but because they are an excellent store that I've bought from personally in the past. They have excellent pricing on Force of Will, Seal products, and singles. They have pre-orders for the next Alice Origin 2 set available right now. Just follow the links in the description down below. There's my affiliate link and some links to both the starter decks and the booster boxes. And if you buy the booster boxes with the starter decks, you actually get a discount, which is pretty sweet. But enough of that. Let's get started. I'm actually really stoked. Which one of these boxes am I gonna open up? We're gonna do this one. I'll save this one for something else. Alright, shrink wrap off, let's get started. This actually brings back a lot of memories. My very first video that I ever tried to do of all time on YouTube was the Moon Priestess Returns, and it was awful. It was an awful video, but still, you know, memories. We have a Hunter in Black Forest. This card is actually really, really good. It's a 300/300 with Swiftness, which is quite good. Knight of the New Moon, also another really good card. Just lets you rest to draw a card and discard a card. In Magic, you would call that a looter. We have a Clockwork Apple Bomb. We're not going to go over every single card, otherwise this video would take a million years, but we're going to hit the highlights. Elvish Exorcist. When it enters, it gets to blow up a vampire. Actually irrelevant. We have a Black Coffin of Vampires. A Jeweled Branch of Horai. Rabbit Kick. We have a Wind Magic Stone. Ooh, first up, we have a super rare Juliet the Hope. She's a 2-drop Fairy Tale human. I should note that there are 10 different rulers in Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale, and we'll probably get 2 in this box. So we'll probably base whatever deck we, you know, want to build around whatever ruler we get. But Juliet is a good start here. Cannot be destroyed as long as you have Romeo. As long as you control Romeo, Nightmare Resonators lose Nightmare and gain Fairy Tale. Pretty cool. And then we have a Hamlin's Pied Piper. Oh, I forgot. If you got a super rare, you also still got a rare. I forgot the collation on these like these old packs. But yeah, Hamlin's Pied Piper, actually kind of cool. But yeah, let's. I'll put all the super rares here. I'll put the rares here next to my old school Angel, and let's just keep going. Old school viewers of this channel will recognize this playmat. This is actually one of the first playmats I ever had for Red Zone Rogue. In fact, I had it custom made for this channel. It actually even has like my old channel like font logo stuff on the bottom. You can't see it here, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Got 5 challenges: Dead Man Prince, Musketeers Bayonet, Knight of Loyalty. Now we have uncommons. We have Charles the 7th. We have Purifying Fire. I think this is for Joan of Arc. Yeah, there's a lot of cards that are like specifically good for the ruler. Oh, dude! First ruler. This is Bloody Snow White. Really cool. This card's actually pretty good. It actually spiked at one point because it was a really good counter to some other popular rulers. We will talk about the rulers because they're relevant to this deck in the box. It has target attack, and you can rest it and rest another target J Resonator, which is quite good. That's why this card was so good, because you can use this to rest your opponent's J Ruler, which is sweet. Then it has an activate of pay 1, discard a poison apple, destroy a resonator. So we definitely want poison apples. And we want like the clockwork apple bombs. Should be another rare in here too. And then this is just the ruler side. You can J activate for a white, a fire, and 2 of any, or you can pay 1 and discard a poison apple. So yeah, definitely going to be on the lookout for poison apples. And then here we have Pale Moon, which buffs all of our were-rabbits, which is cool. So definitely we can either look out for fire. I mean, you have a lot of flexibility here. We're playing with Bloody Snow White, but we don't have to play red. We could play red. We probably should, but I'm going to set this in a special spot. I'm just going to set her like kind of right there. And then, yeah, this Were-Rabbit buff card. And just to note, we did get one of these Clockwork Apple Bombs, which works with Snow White. It says, as a chant, standby, which means you can play it like face down, kind of like a trap from Yu-Gi-Oh! And then it can activate on its trigger effect, or you can just play it for the cost up here. It says trigger, if your ruler is Snow White or your J ruler is Bloody Snow White, destroy a blocking resonator and a blocked resonator. This card deals 500 damage to each controller of those resonators. So yeah, pretty good support card for Bloody Snow White here. And we'll just keep going. I don't know what I'm hoping to pull. Dracula was my favorite ruler out of this set. Oh, there we go. Poison Apple. Sweet. We definitely need a bunch of those to make this work well. Elvish Bowman. This is pretty good. You can rest it to destroy an addition. Blood-Sucking Impulse. You have a Holy Grail. Laura the Blood Speaker. I think this card was pretty good at one point. It's uncommon there. We have a Robe of the Fire Rat. Also not too bad. Another Wind Magic Stone. And then we have a rare Fina the Silver Player. I think this card's good. Just buffs up all your elves. And she has some synergy with Christy, the Wind Tracker Ruler. And man, like I said, for $25, this is a pretty good deal. You're not just getting a starter deck. Ooh, another Poison Apple. That's 2. You're getting like the fun of opening packs and being creative and making your own decks. It's my favorite part of card games. I love this kind of stuff. Elvish Exorcist against the Vampire deck. Resurrection of Vampire. Moon Knight Prowler. And since we are going to be playing red, maybe, we want to look out for really sweet red ones. This one's not bad. Now we have a Light Magic Stone, and then our rare is Spiral of Despair. This card's really good. If you are a fan of Magic the Gathering, this card is very much like Hymn to Turak. It makes your opponent discard 2 cards, and if your ruler is Pandora, then they discard 2 cards at random, which is it's quite good. So it looks like the rare or ruler, I mean the super rare or ruler would take place of the Magic Stone. We have a 1-inch boy. I'm not gonna make a joke about that. Musketeer's Bayonet, Silver Bullet. This is a Christie card. Charles V. We have another Magic Stone. Oh, dude, this is actually one of my favorite cards of the set. Carmilla, the Queen of Vampires. Really, really good super rare. When it enters, you get to destroy a non-vampire resonator if your ruler is Alucard or Dracula. So Alucard turns into Dracula. And the resonator destroyed this way is human, then you get control of it and it becomes a vampire, which is sweet. Oh, we have another vampire. Vampire Staff. Oh, man, I really hope we pull Dracula. He's my favorite ruler of the set. I hope so. I hope so. It's really interesting because not all of the rulers are like mainline rulers, if that makes any sense. There's some of them that are like really good counter rulers, like rulers that you can play to counter your opponent's rulers. This is Dream of Juliet. It's a pretty good card, actually. 7 Dwarfs with an F. It should be with the V, but that's okay. Bloodsucking Vampire. This is Aramis, the 3 Musketeers. There is like a 3 Musketeer sub-theme as well. It goes with the Puss in Boots and D'Artagnan ruler. This Jewel of Dragon's Neck, Magic Stone of Water, and then our rare is Law of Silence. Good card. Makes it so your opponent can't play spells like during their turn, which is pretty good and annoying. I'm not sure how many super rares come in these old boxes. I don't remember. Ooh, another Poison Apple. That's 3. You know, Snow White's looking pretty good. We have Heavenly Feathered Robe. That's an uncommon. Whoa, this pack's gonna be stacked because we have an uncommon already, which means we got some rares and super rares coming up. We have Cowrie of Swallows uncommon. We have the Magic Stone of Flame. Oh, dude, there we go. This is Gilderai, the Golden Dragon, another super rare, a really, really powerful super rare back in the day. It's a 6-drop 4 of any, double fire. It's Fantasy Dragon. It has flying and swiftness, and it gains +2/+0 for each fire magic stone that you control, which is crazy. And then it's when it is destroyed, you may banish 3 fire magic stones. If you do, put it from your graveyard back on the field. It's just really hard to deal with and just very powerful. Gilderay is really good. And then we have Inquisition, which is kind of like a Joan of Arc type spell, or support spell. Yo, we got Carmilla and Gilderay. Those are some of the best super rares in the set, I think. There's some broken other stuff, but those are just like rawly powerful. Light of Hope, Granny, we got Musketeers, Granny, Vampire Bat with pretty good artwork. Ooh, Wolf Hunted in Black Forest. This is a card that I like specifically bought like 4 of back in the day because it's just a really powerful resonator. It's a 500, 300 for just 1. You take damage if you don't have a moon when it dies, but who cares, man? Really powerful. Emperor with New Clothes. And then we have a Fire Magic Stone. And then our rare is Bloody Moon. Yeah, can go with our the Wolf Haunted in Black Forest. Just buffs up werewolves. And it lets you banish it to destroy a special magic stone, which is pretty cool. To note, there are dual stones in the set. We'll probably put all the dual stones aside in their own little pile. This is Red Hot Iron Shoes. We have Archer of the Crescent Moon, Murderous Snowman, Knight of Loyalty, Vampire Bat. This is a Crucifix, Romeo. We got Juliet, and we got Romeo. She turns him into a fairy tale. That's kind of cool. Cowrie of Swallows. Oh, there we go. Speaking of the magic stones, Magic Stone of Deepwood. Nice. This is the blue-green one, the water and wind. And then we have a Tinkerbell, the Spirit. Really good fairy type resonator if you're doing like a Grim style deck. Yeah, man, I can't stress this enough. If you're new to Force of Will and you just want to start playing and you don't care about New Frontiers and no one at your store plays because the game like died out or everyone lost interest, this is like one of the best ways to play. It's so much fun. The cards are really cool. The set's really balanced. There's a lot of like rulers in the set. I can't praise Crimson Moon Fairy Tale enough. We have Magic Stone of Darkness and another Tinkerbell. Yeah, I mean, if we had a Grim, that would be quite good. Tinkerbell just gets pumped up for every other fairy tale you control, so you want like a critical mass of fairy tales. And there's a pretty good wide range of fairy tales in the set. Another Crucifix is kind of like an anti... Oh, Pumpkin Witch! This card's banned in Wanderer. Why is it banned? Well, it's a 300/800 for 2 of any End of Darkness. But no, what's good is when it enters the field, resonators you control gain flying and swiftness until end of turn. So you can play like a bunch of stuff, and then Pumpkin Witch, and just kill them. Just straight up kill them. Got Silver Bullet, got another Romeo, Magic Stone of Light. Ooh, Lugaroo, the New Moon. This is one of the werewolf like support cards. So if you're playing like Red Riding Hood. And then we have a Alvarez, the Demon Castle. This is another vampire card. As you can see, there's a lot of like specific support in the set, but there's like enough support so you can play like whatever kind of deck that you want, which is pretty cool. Especially if you supplement it with the next, like the following set, which is Castle of Heaven and 2 Towers. But that set, oops, I almost dropped the snowman, is expensive. It's quite expensive. So I would recommend sticking with Crimson Moon Fairy Tale. And then maybe Moon Priestess returns. Got Blinded Prince. Ooh, Elvish Priest. This is the first one we've gotten. Fantastic card. This is a staple. This is like a Llanowar Elves from Magic. Slipper of Cinderella. We got Stone Bowl of Buddha. Ooh, Gretel. Gretel's just really good. It's Gretel. Banned in Wanderer. We have Magic Stone of Light and another Fina. Oh, interesting. I mean, we definitely want to be playing Fire so far because we pulled the Bloody Snow White. We're getting a lot of good fire cards anyway, like the Hunter in Black Forest. We definitely want more of those if we're going to be playing fire. Ooh, I can see some shiny over there. This is the Looter one. We have another Clockwork Apple Bomb. We have a Blinded Prince. Another Elvish Priest, which is fantastic. Slipper of Cinderella. Ooh, another Gretel. I mean, Gretel's just so good. Laura of the Blood Speaker. Oh, okay, so this is our second ruler. This is the Pandora of Light. And then we also have the Light Palace of King's Castle, just buffs up humans, has some human strategy. So what Pandora does is, on one side, it's just Pandora, Girl of the Box. There's actually two rulers called Pandora, Girl of the Box. But the other side, there's 2 separate ones. So there's like this, Like, there's 2 rulers that have this exact side, and then on the other side, it's either Pandora of Light or Pandora of Darkness. And the light one blows up all resonators, which is kind of cool. You can do like a control style build with this, but they all have the same J activate of 3, and then a dark and a light. So interesting. I think I still like Snow White a little bit more here, but we'll see what else we get. We might get a 3rd J ruler. I think you only get 2 in a box, if I remember right. You might get 3. You might actually get 3. Basket of Little Red, another Pumpkin Witch, Prince, Aesop. It's an uncommon. We have Rabbit Kick, Magic Stone of Water. Looks like we got a super rare or a stone or something. Ooh, Hansel to go with Gretel. I mean, he's not bad. Whenever he deals damage to your opponent, you get draw a card, and he's only 2 cost. And he can't be attacked if you control Gretel. It's not bad. Oh, Thunder. Those of you who are playing current Force of Will know Thunder. Just 500 damage for a single red. It's really good. And used to be rare, as you can see. Not a rare anymore. It is now just like a normal rarity card, but Thunder is fantastic. Our fire pool, I think, is quite good. Not just because of the rares, but because of some of the commons. Yeah, there we go. Hunted in Black Forest. Absolute Cake Zone is really good. It's like a counterspell type thing. Servant of Vampire, Silver Stake, Robe of the Fire Rat uncommon, Heavenly Feathered Robe. Got 2 robes. Ooh, Magic Stone of Hearth's Core. This is the Water and Fire dual stone. And then a Commander of Wolves. Yeah, red's looking quite good. We're probably gonna play red plus another color. Our light is looking pretty bad. Our darkness is looking quite strong. So maybe we could do like darkness. I don't know. Yeah, like darkness and fire. I think something like that could be good. Servant of Kaguya. Yep, this set introduced Kaguya. This set actually introduced a couple of the like long-running characters, like Nyarlathotep and Kaguya. This is a Resurrection of Vampire, followed by a Magic Stone, and then another Light Palace of King's Castle for that human support. I'm not sure. There was never really like a big human deck like back in the day, but you know, if you're just playing Crimson Mood Sealed, who knows what you can build. Another Elvish Priest, which is really good. Slipper of Cinderella, Purifying Fire. We have this is another Lore, the Bloodspeaker. Like I said, I think our darkness is quite good. We have a Magic Stone, and then another Spiral of Despair. Yeah, really, really good. Both of those actually go well with with Pandora. So you could even run Pandora, but I don't think we have enough like good light resonators to make Pandora worth it. I don't know. We'll see. I like Bloody Snow White more here. Another Hunter in Black Forest, Knight of the New Moon, Elvish Priest. We're seeing a lot of duplicates here. Absolute Cake Zone's really good. This is the Jewels on Dragon's Neck. Another Aramis. Another Magic Stone of Hearth's Core. It's gonna make a blue splash a lot easier. Another Hamlin's Pied Piper. Still got like half the box to go. We got a little ways to go here. So there's a lot of options. Another Clockwork Apple Bomb. I mean, the set wasn't super big. It's not like a small set. Yeah, Dream of Juliet. I was just thinking about that. Like, maybe our white cards aren't as bad as I think. Oh, Wolf Haunted in Black Forest. We definitely want a bunch of these because I think we're gonna be playing Fire. Jeweled Branch of whatever. We have Magic Stone of Light and a Cottage of Cakes. It's like a Hansel and Gretel one, and I don't know. It does some funny stuff. Let's read it. I've never played with this card. It's a 1-drop Addition Field House. Hansel and Gretel you control can't be targeted by spells. Your opponent controls activate, pay a wind and rest it. Remove target resonator you control from the game. Pay a wind and rest it. Banish it. Put them all back into play. Okay, so you can kind of like hide cards under it and then put them all back. So basically, you'd hide cards that your opponent is trying to kill, or hide cards that have really good like enter the field effects. I would say that's probably what you want to do with it, but I'm not sure. Another Absolute Cake Zone. Servant of Vampire, Silver Stake. We have a Bowl of Buddha. Ooh, I can see the side here. I think we have another ruler, and I think I can guess what it is just based on this. It's purple, so it's purple. It's purple, so it's probably Christy. Yeah, it's Christy. This is Helsing, the Vampire Hunter. She is beautiful. Followed by another Thunder. Yeah, we're playing red. Easy, playing red. Helsing, Vampire Hunter. So she starts as Christy, the Wind Tracker. You can pay 2 Wind and 1 of any to J-activate. But if your opponent controls a Vampire or Werewolf, or Vampire, Immortal, or Werewolf, I didn't realize the Immortal part there. You may pay 0 to J-activate. And you can rest her to draw a card. And you cannot play this ability if you don't have exactly 5 cards in your hand. So you can actually rest her to draw cards if you have exactly 5 cards in your hand, which is quite good. And then on her ruler side, it enters. You target a non-human J-Resonator. They lose all abilities, and then you destroy it at end of turn. Pretty good. It's a really good like silver bullet. Like I said, there's some really good like silver bullet rulers that you can play that just annihilate your opponent's stuff. So we'll play that kind of there, and yeah, interesting. So those are our rulers. I think you only get 3 maximum. I don't think you can get 4. I know I said I don't think you can get 2, or I didn't think you can get 3, but I'm like pretty sure you only ever get like 3. Like I don't think you can ever get 4. This is Return to Stories. Remove a Nightmare or Fairy Tale Resonator from the game. Good silver bullet for the fairy type deck. Oh, here we go. This is the first Cthulhu Deep Ones. It says this card gains +200/+200 for each Resonator in your graveyard. So if you're playing like a mill type of strategy, this is a super rare. And then a Fairy Tale, also banned in Wanderer. Very, very good for a Fairy Tale style deck, but doesn't look like we're going to be going Fairy Tale route this time here. Yeah, I mean, this pool, I think it's pretty directed. It's like, you know, this is what you want to be playing. Voice of the False God. Man, I love the art in this old set. This is a night or midnight bell. I was going to say night mid bell. Yeah, total number of all resonators and all magic stones is 12. Resonators your opponents control lose all abilities and are 0/200s until end of turn. Very weird, interesting card. Elvish Exorcist, Heavenly Feathered Robe, uncommon, another Gretel. That's really good. Magic Stone of Wind. We have an Athos, the 3 Musketeers. Really good. I mean, if you're playing like a Fairy Tale or like a Musketeer style deck, it's pretty good. He lets you search up some of the other Musketeers. We have another Alvarez, the Demon Castle. I don't know, man. I think we're definitely going to be playing Fire. I like the dark cards. I also like the wind cards too. But if we're playing Fire, we have some easy like Fire water splashes too. So we can play like Fire water and maybe put in those like looter type cards or some of the Hamlin stuff. Another Hunter in Black Forest. Cake Zone, Servant of Vampire, Rabbit Kick, Emperor with New Clothes. Wait, is Rabbit Kick uncommon? Rabbit Kick is uncommon. Magic Stone of Darkness. Oh, dude, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to be playing Darkness. Cinderella the Ashen Maiden. This was one of my favorite cards when I started playing Force Will. This card's super cool. It's a 400/400 for 2 fire, or 2 darkness. But this card is fire. When it ever deals damage to your opponent, you can search your deck for a prince, reveal it, and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. And then you can banish a Resonator. This card deals 200 damage to each Resonator your opponents control. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. And then we also have another Light Palace. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this card is just, it's awesome in like every way. It's good, and it's like pretty, and I like the Cinderella. I think she's quite good. We have another Knight of the New Moon. This is the looter I was talking about. Clockwork Apple Bomb, Servant of Kaguya, Silver Stake, Porthos, Midnight. This is the Corvite of Shallows, Moon Knight Pouncer. Ooh, there we go. Magic Stone of Heat Ray. This is the Fire and Light. And then we have a Commander of Wolves. Yeah, I mean, like, this deck is kind of, in my opinion, building itself. We could just maybe do, like, Mono Fire. I don't know if Mono Fire would be good enough. I think some of the other cards are definitely worth splashing. Yo, that's our 4th Poison Apple. Yeah, definitely want all the Poison Apples. There's another Cthulhu, Squirmer in the Dark. Light of Hope. We have a Black Coffin of Vampires, Siege Warfare, Elvish Bowman. We have a Purifying Fire, Emperor with New Clothes, Magic Windstone, and then another Fina. I mean, if we got enough elves, we could just make a straight up just elf deck too. I think there's a lot of possibilities here. Because you could definitely do like an elf-style deck. Because we got so many Finas. So all of the elves are going to get like pumped up. And we have Helsing to help like supplement that. We have all of the elves that like add extra will. You could definitely do like a really sweet like elf style deck. This is a Resurrection of Vampire. All right, my recording cut off. We were at Fire Magic Stone, maybe? I don't know. But we have Rapunzel. She's a super rare. She's a very interesting super rare. Yeah, I'm not sure. She like pumps up other resonators and gives them flying, but you can choose not to recover her or whatever. This is a third Hamlin Pied Piper. Very interessante. Alright, we are currently up to 9 super rares. That's actually, like, pretty good. 7 dwarves. What is this? Voice of the False God. Elvish Exorcist. Black Coffin. We have Siege Warfare. We have the Bootable. Return of Stories as I knock over a pile off screen. Return of Stories. Dark Magic Stone. We have the Pale Moon, which helps pump up your were-rabbits. Alright, down to our last stack of packs. This is a pretty good box, you know? You can definitely have some directions here. It's like our 5th Poison Apple, I think. Bloodsucking Impulse, Holy Grail, Dead Man Prince. I'm trying to put these off screen so that it doesn't like crowd this area, but I'm just gonna crowd the area. I don't even care. Charles V, or 7th. I can read Roman numerals. Jewels on Dragon's Neck, uncommon. Ooh, Magic Stone of Deepwood again. Nice, followed by another Bloody Moon. Definitely liking the Bloody Moons there. Yeah, I mean, I'm calling it. Fire is the way to go for this pool. I mean, fire just in general for this set, I think is pretty good. Yep, another one. Wolf Haunted in Black Forest. Yep, that's getting in there. Oh, there's a Swordsman of the Full Moon. This is a Were-Rabbit super rare. I think this card is quite good. Like, actually very, very good. She's a 900/900 Were-Rabbit with flying, 2 of any double water. And when it enters the field, you get to bounce a Resonator to your opponent's hand. It's kind of like a Mana War effect if you play Magic. Followed by another Inquisition. I'm actually starting to think that water and... I could even do like a triple color deck. It might be a little sketchy. But like, water and fire seem like they might be a really good bet here. I'll have to like compile all the cards and look afterwards, because I think the darkness is also quite good. Oh, dude, Magic Stone of Heaven's Rift. We're getting a lot of the dual stones, and we've got a lot of silence too. How many dual stones do you normally get in a box? This is a good number. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 already. I think if this was like back in the day, this would be quite good. I'll have to look. I mean, there's not a whole lot of like booster box openings like of this set like back in the day, so we'll have to see. We got a Pumpkin Witch, Uncommon Romeo. We have Return to Stories. What? We got another ruler. This is Joan of Arc, or Jeanne d'Arc, the Flame of Hatred, followed by another Demon Castle. This is 4 rulers in this box. Yeah, this is the way to go. I don't really like this set, or this. I love this set. I don't like this ruler all that much. Okay, so this is her other side. This is a Nameless Girl. She J activates for a fire, a water, and 2 of any. And if a human is put into your graveyard this turn, you can pay 0. And then you J activate her, and she turns into Joan of Arc, the Flame of Hatred. Very powerful, 1200, 1200. But when she enters, you destroy all other humans. And you can rest her. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to target human Resonator until end of turn. You can pay 1 of any, a fire, and a... Or just pay 1 of any and a fire, and she does 500 damage to target human. So she both, like, protects humans, but also damages humans. She doesn't like humans, basically. Doesn't like the humans, and she's going to go there. Very interesting. I was not expecting another ruler. Maybe I just don't know. I just have not opened up enough Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale. I've opened up 2 boxes of this before, but man, it was like years ago. And I opened up like random packs as well. But, you know, random packs doesn't tell you how many we get in a box. This is a second Lugaroo super rare, followed by another Tale of Fairy Tale. I think we're going to be doing like a werewolf like style deck. Like just straight up. I think so. Like a werewolf, fire, maybe like a 6th apple bomb. Werewolf fire, maybe some water in there. I think you can tell. I think we got a super rare right there. Pumpkin Witch, Romeo, Return to Stories, got a Magic Stone of Fire. Second deep one. Interesting. And then another Pale Moon. We got a lot of super rares too. Man, I forget how much like sweet value you get in these old packs. I mean, they're not worth like much money these days, but like you get like multiple rares and super rares, and you get all the rulers. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like so more generous. This is a vampire staff. We only have a couple more packs left, so I'm gonna go through these pretty quickly. Let me get these commons out of the way though, just to make it a little cleaner. I laugh because I say little cleaner, and this looks like a goddamn mess. This is an archer. It looks like we have another super rare back there too. Jesus, we have so many super rares. Yeah, Cake Zone, got Bootable, Aesop, Magic Stone. Oh, dude, another Swordsman of Full Moon. Yeah, I'm liking the Firewater quite a bit. Oh, Spiral of Despair too. Oh man, you can build like 2 decks. I think you can build like 2 fully functioning, like good decks with this pool, because you can build like a darkness deck for sure, like easy, like darkness and wind or something, and use like Pandora, and it would be good because the cards in here are just like really good. We have Resurrection of Vampire, Night Moon Pouncer. Oh dude, Magic Stone of Black Silence. Like I said, you can make a darkness and wind deck and be really good. And another Thunder. This is ridiculous. All right, hold on. Let's kind of like tidy this up a bit. I'm very curious how many like dual stones we got overall. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we had a couple duplicates. I think there were 5 in this set, so it's 3, 4, 5. So we got at least 1 of each and a couple duplicates. And then for here, we got like a disgusting amount of super rares. I thought you get 10 per box, but it might be like 15. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, that's still like really good. And we got a couple duplicates too. So we got like duplicates of all of these ones, I believe. It would have been nice to get another Gilderay, honestly, instead of like the Lugaroo. Gilderay would have been excellent. But, you know, it's still fine, you know. Still quite good. And the Swordsman of the Full Moon is just, it's a really good, like, just powerful tempo card. And for the rares, like look at this. This is like all the rares, like shiny cards that you got in one box. Look at that. It's such like good value compared to like what you get these days. Especially since I only paid like $25 for this. Quite good. And like the actual like sweetness of the box, we have Pandora of Light, the Bloody Snow White, Joan of Arc, and Helsing. Unfortunately, a lot of these rulers are what I would consider like support rulers or like sideboard rulers. Like, well, Christie's pretty good by herself, but like Pandora and Joan of Arc are kind of like sideboard rulers. I think Bloody Snow White is what we're gonna do. But give me a minute. Probably gonna be more than a minute, but for you, it'll be like less than a second. And I'm gonna kind of like do some gathering and sorting, and I'm gonna build a deck. I think fire is gonna be really good though. Alright, and I'm back. That took me actually quite a while to do because I found that I had enough cards to actually make 2 decks here. One of the decks isn't quite as refined as the others because I did it fairly quickly. And we'll talk about that one first. This one is a Helsing the Vampire Hunter, or if you want to call it by the other side, this is a Christie Elf Betrayer deck, or Betrayer of Elves deck, because she's a vampire hunter, but this is basically like a vampire style deck. This is something that you want to do if you pulled like a Dracula or something, but I think it still works with this, especially with her side here being able to draw extra cards, and her side here being able to destroy opponents' things. We did have a black magic stone, or a magic stone of Black Silence, as well as enough magic stones to make whatever we wanted, basically. I just kind of made it pretty even because this deck is fairly even, though it leans a little bit heavier towards darkness than it does wind. So we have an additional darkness over the wind. In the box, I did notice going through all the cards that it comes with at least 3 to 4 of all of the uncommons, more than 4 of all of the commons, and at least 5 of all of the magic stones. So you can definitely make a 2-color deck that you want, but whatever 2-color deck that you want, which is pretty sweet. Not including all of the dual stones. So we are playing with Carmilla, Queen of Vampires, and Vampire Staff. Like I said, this is going to be kind of like a vampire-themed deck. I think we're okay. We're running Laura, which helps you search up extra vampires from your deck. She's actually a pretty good card. Lets you tutor for any vampire. Cinderella doesn't really synergize with this deck other than a couple cards like the Dead Man Prince here. But it's just a really powerful card. And if you pulled this, you should just probably play it anyway. Here are the Dead Man Princes. This is kind of a grindier, more mid-range style deck. Dead Man Prince lets us get a Resonator back from our graveyard to our hand. The Pumpkin Witch is a good finisher, giving flying and swiftness to all of our dudes. So we can do like a big turn where we play a bunch of smaller stuff and just kind of crash in. The Elvish Priest gives us some ramp, really good. Gretel also gives us ramp, but she only ramps for wind magic stones, so which is unfortunate because we're only running 5 wind magic stones in the deck. But you know, it's only 50% efficiency. But you know, if it was fully tuned, you would be, you know, 4 magic stone of Black Silence, and then probably some other dual stones as well that were also wind stones. So you always hit with Gretel. But that's neither here nor there. This is kind of, you know, we're making do with what we got. We have Hansel here. Just, you know, pretty good card, synergizes with Gretel. Same with Absolute Cake Zone, cancels any normal spell, so any non-resonator spell. And if you control Hansel or Gretel, you get a draw card. Pretty good, running all 4 of those. Running both of our Law of... I was going to say Law of Black Silence. Nah, it's not the Black Silence. It's just Law of Silence. Running both of those here. Like I said, just pretty good mid-range control type cards. Spiral of Despair. Once again, pretty good control style, like grindy mid-range cards. And then I have some sort of removal. So the Black Coffin of Vampires is a pretty good removal spell if you're running vampires. The added resonator cannot be targeted by spells or abilities your opponent controls if it's a vampire. Otherwise, it cannot attack or block. So you can play this as a removal on your opponent's stuff or on your vampires to protect them. And you can pay a black and return to your hand. Pretty good. And then we have all 3 of the Alvarez the Demon Castles, pumping up all of our vampires. And then we can pay 1 and banish it and bring a vampire back from our graveyard to our hands. If we were going to make this into a constructed deck, you'd run all 4 Camillas for the vampire staff, you know, that kind of stuff. Search out some a little bit better vampire cards and go for more synergies. I opted on not playing the worst vampires, just to play some more wind cards that are just kind of like stronger in general, because we don't have like a huge synergistic deck. Like I said, I didn't spend as much time on this one as I did this one. This one is my Bloody Snow White build. I think this deck is actually pretty cool. Some honorable mentions before I go over them. We have Purifying Fire. This is a Joan of Arc card, but it's a pretty good removal card if you're targeting a human. But it can also just dome your opponent for 700. So if you're going for more aggro strategy, this one's more kind of a mid-range kind of deal. If you're going for more aggro strategy, this is really good just to burn out your opponent, hit him for 700 in the face. This one, if you're running more Were-Rabbits than we are, is a pretty good because you get a bounce, a resonator to your opponent's hand. If you have a Were-Rabbit, you get a bounce 2 to their hand, which is cool. And then I chose not to run the Clockwork Apple Bombs because they don't really synergize with what we're trying to do. And then finally, here is my Bloody Snow White deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun, or it would be a lot of fun to play. I haven't played it, just built it. We already kind of went over what Snow White does. We are running all 4 of the Poison Apples just to, you know, maximize on her J-Ruler Activate. We are running both of our Magic Stone of Hearth's Core, and then I'm running more fire than water stones because this is a heavily fire deck. It's kind of like a werewolf deck, actually. So we have the Wolf Haunted in Black Forest, just a really good, efficient werewolf resonator. Just 500, 300 for 1 is quite good, and only pulled 3. So if we had 4, we'd be running 4. I'm running the Night of the New Moon. It's just a good draw card, discard a card type, you know, looter effect. And it helps us kind of sift through the cards that we don't want so we get more action. We definitely want more gas in the deck. We have Hunter in Black Forest, 300, 300 with Swiftness. Just really, really good. Notably the only human in the deck, which actually comes up a little bit later. 7 Dwarves is a 700, 700 that has to attack every turn. And if you have to choose someone to attack with, you have to choose this one first. It's just an efficient beater, basically. We have another efficient beater-ish, not super efficient, but synergizes with a lot of our werewolf abilities. Whenever we play a normal spell, it gains First Strike and Swiftness until end of turn, which is pretty cool. We have both of our Lugaroo, the New Moon. Triple Fire for a 700, 700 gives all of our werewolves Swiftness. And whenever a werewolf we control attacks, this card deals 100 damage to your opponent. If you control a moon, it deals 200 damage instead. Pretty good. Kind of goes over the top. We have the Commander of Wolves, the 4-drop, 3 of any and a fire. 900, 500 deals 400 damage to a resonator for each werewolf we control when we play it. Once again, we want to maximize on our werewolf synergies. And we also have some more Were-Rabbits. We have a Were deck. Already talked about this. Fantastic 900, 900 for 4 with flying, and you can bounce a dude when you play it. Amazing. We are running all 3 of our Hamlin's Pied Pipers. They're just a solid mid-range card. 1,000, 1,000 for 3 of any and double blue, since we got 3 of them. And When he comes into play, you rest a resonator your opponent's controls, and it doesn't recover as long as you control the Pied Piper. And then when it attacks, you get to do the same thing. You get to rest a resonator, and it doesn't recover. Pretty good. Then we have Gilderay. Already talked about Gilderay. Of course, we're running him. We're running both of our Bloody Moons to do that Moon synergy, and also pumps our Werewolves. Also, you can banish to blow up our opponent's special magic zones. Pretty good. All 3 Thunders. Just Thunder. It's incredibly good and efficient. 500 damage to any target for a single fire. Voice of the False God lets us banish a Resonator, and if we do, we get to draw 2 cards. Really good. Helps us refuel our hand. But if we banish a human, we can draw 3 cards. So that Hunter in Black Forest lets us draw 3 cards. Pretty good. And then finally, our 4 Poisoned Apples. Target Resonator you control gains plus 1,000 plus 0 until end of turn, end of turn destroy. Really good finisher. We play this on our Resonator who gets through, just kill your opponent. Pretty good. And that's my first Force of Will flashback video doing Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale deck in a box. I hope you all enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Didn't realize you can actually build 2 decks, and also didn't realize you get 4 rulers per box. I highly recommend it if you want to get into Force of Will or just, you know, pining for the old days. Picking up a couple boxes of Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale. They're like 30 bucks on eBay right now, and it is a steal. A lot of fun. You can definitely spend your money worse these days. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications and all that crap. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time for some more Force of Will content. Have a good one all. I'll see you then.